Welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the Aftermath show after the dust has settled from Newcastle United's unbelievable record-breaking win at Old Trafford against an unbelievably rubbish Manchester United team, it must be said. But Newcastle are absolutely fantastic. Just wanted to jump on and do these videos. Obviously, it's very raw after the game just immediately finishes. We jump on, do the post-match. Sometimes you don't see it in the cold light of day. So I've had time to look at it, had time to think about it. And again, I just want to come on and say how brilliant Newcastle United were. First half, unplayable. Just dance around Manchester United. Those Manchester United fans were rightly so sick when they looked at that lineup and saw two old men against arguably the best midfield in the Premier League right now, in Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton. I don't think there's many midfielders that can live with them when they're on the form that they're on right now. Confidence is up. You know, I said this in the post-match as well. What's changed with Newcastle? Why have they turned the corner? Why are they starting to play with such quality, you know? And I think it's confidence, belief and execution is what it is. Ironic really when the honours list has come out. I'm not too sure about some of the names, but Newcastle United have definitely got C.B.E, no doubt about that whatsoever. And you've got to give credit to Eddie Howe. You know, we all ask questions about whether he'd taken this team as far as he could take it, you know, and rightly so. Some of us, you know, said maybe it's time to change the manager, and that's football, unfortunately. When you feel like a manager's running out of ideas, you know, people ask for a change. I mean, you know, look at Amram. He's only been in the job for 5 minutes, and I think some people are probably asking the questions now whether he's the right man for the job. I mean, I, for one, just think he's inherited a complete dumpster fire of a team, squad, football club. I think it's an atrocious football club. I think, you know, managers and players alike should just give it a huge wide berth and go nowhere near it, because that club is at least 10, 15, 20 years even away from going back to the Manchester United that I remember watching when I was growing up. And that's probably one of the big reasons I can't feel sorry for them. You know, as somebody in their 40s, you know, I grew up watching football when Manchester United was so dominant and so good, and we hated them because they were so dominant and so good. They won everything. They had the best players, the best academy. They stole the best players off the other teams beneath them and signed them, and then they went on to win trophy after trophy after trophy. And there was a real arrogance and swagger about Manchester United, rightly so, to be fair, because they were so good. But that arrogance has almost hung around, you know, for generations of fans. And let's be honest with you, Manchester United haven't really been the Manchester United that I remember for so much, so long, you know, of probably the last 10 years or so. You've seen, you know, Arsenal came to the fore, then Chelsea, then City, you know, and Manchester United fell so far behind. You know, yes, there's an element of welfare involved with it, but I think the club itself is toxic. They're signing the wrong players, the wrong characters, and it's everything opposite of what Newcastle United have done since this takeover came through. And Gary Neville, when he managed to wipe the tears from his eyes, said that as well. Newcastle have made great signings in the takeover, and we have. You look at the players that we signed, you know, maybe not the most fashionable, stylish players, but Dan Burn, for example, one of the best players on the park last night, you know, absolute colossus at the back. You know, Højlund did all right, to be fair. Højlund worked hard. He was up against two informed centre-halves. You know, him and Cher had a good battle. Obviously, Cher gets the yellow card and misses 2 games, which is unfortunate. But, you know, I felt sorry for Højlund living on scraps. We've had centre-forwards like that for years, living on scraps up front, trying to make it happen on his own, you know, and I felt sorry for the lad as well. But he's just another sad consequence of how shit Manchester United are right now. But let's not turn to Sky Sports and mourn the death of Manchester United, who were a disgrace, by the way. Didn't give Newcastle hardly any praise at all, apart from they were talking about how classy Isaac is and how he should probably go sign for Liverpool or Arsenal. But going back to Newcastle United, you know, the fear factor has gone from going to Old Trafford, as Mark said in the post-match, and Newcastle United don't fear anybody right now. I really do think we could play Real Madrid or Barcelona and not be scared of them, with the form and the confidence and the belief that we have in that squad. You know, if that squad playing the way it did went to the Champions League, you know, in that group of death, I think they would fancy their chances against anybody. And two massive reasons for it. The biggest one is Sandro Tonali at the 6, as we've all said. It's transformed the whole side. The defence feel more confident. Bruno's been let off the leash to cause maximum damage. Joe Linton looks like a player reborn as well. And Jacob Murphy off from balance on that right-hand side just makes everything work. You know, is Jacob Murphy the long-term kind of answer? No, he's not. You know, we want a better right winger, someone who's more dangerous, someone who's got a better end product, you know, where Jacob will maybe fluff 5 out of 7 chances and then score 2 Ragers. We want a right winger who will maybe score 4 out of 7 chances or 3 out of 7 chances, and that's where Newcastle need to upgrade. But brilliant performance last night from the lads. You wouldn't have thought we had such a honking record at Old Trafford, just how well we played, how we controlled the game, and that's what it was. It was pure control. That first half an hour, that's my only criticism of the lads, I would say, is that in those moments when we've got a foot on the throat and they can't breathe, we have to take full advantage of it. If Newcastle went 4-5-0 up in that first half, you couldn't have said they didn't deserve it. And that ground would have emptied. It emptied on about 75 minutes or something anyway, to be fair, because they'd all had enough and realised they were shit and couldn't score a goal. But I think if Newcastle had gone 4 or 5-0 up, if Isak takes that one-on-one, it's like kryptonite for Isak at the minute. When he's one-on-one with time to think, he seems to fluff his lines. When he's instinctive, it's just in the back of the net. So he needs to work on those one-on-ones. But if we were 4 or 5-0 up at half-time, we would have massively deserved it. And that ground would have emptied, and it would have been even worse for Manchester United. To hear things like Manchester United in a relegation battle is just manna from heaven for me. It really is. My dislike for that club is almost immeasurable because of the era that I grew up in. I know a lot of Man United fans are hurting this morning. I'm trying not to smile as hard as I possibly can, but for years of arrogance and disdain and laughing in the top of the tree for all of the supporters, this is your time to feel the pain. I don't think anyone's going to really put their arms around you, in all fairness, guys, because you deserve everything that's coming your way. There is some good Manchester United fans who I've seen content from as well. Alice in particular, who always speaks very well about Newcastle, and even Goldbridge, who had me in stitches, to be fair, with some of his antics as well, which was quite funny. But Manchester United are so far off it. I don't even think they'll get in the top 10 the way they're playing. I really don't. I don't think they're going to add quality in January, whereas we probably do need to still add a couple of players in January to increase the depth and the quality of this squad. But this has been an unbelievable end to 2024 for Newcastle United. At times we've not been great, we've been frustrating, we've asked questions of the players and the managers, but right now we're in top form, finishing the year out. It's a great way to end the year. We need to start 2025 in the same vein of form with those players, confidence, belief, execution, CBE. Get it done, lads. Keep going. We've got Arsenal coming in the Cup. We've got Bromley. We've got Spurs next in the Premier League. That's the last of those kind of let's wait and see where we are fixtures. And if we beat Spurs, if Spurs turn up and be all Spursy, we could put them to the sword as well. But if we play with the level of confidence we played in the last handful of games, you wouldn't bat against us getting a result down at the Spurs Stadium as well. But let us know in the comments below, guys, what you thought about that performance. I'm buzzing. I just want Newcastle to continue this vein of form till the end of the season and hopefully get back in those Champions League positions. But we always like to hear from you. Drop a comment and like and subscribe as well. This will be probably one of our last videos of the year. Thank you so much for all your love and support this year. Getting us to that 9,000 milestone is amazing. Roll on 2025. We've got loads more content in store for you. Have a brilliant new year. Whatever you're doing with those you love, enjoy it. Hope the hangover is not too bad on New Year's Day, and we'll be back for the Spurs preview and post-match. Have a belter, everyone. Happy New Year. See you later.